Hello, welcome to Scalemodeling, and welcome to part 19 of our 1/200 scale Yamato build. Now, assuming you watched my last video, which I'm sure most of you did, I pointed out after putting all of this together that I'd overlooked the fact that I hadn't painted the mast black. And I mentioned that I will do that. Well, I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to explain how I'm going to do it, mainly because it's already glued on here. I can't take it off, which makes it a little bit difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Outlaw Paints. I'm only going to paint it with the black primer, okay, because that's exactly what I did the top of the funnel with, and I think that looks fine, and it's going to look really good with, matches up with the mast. And to put this on, I'm just going to brush it on. All right, so this is airbrush paint, and that's mostly what it's for, but I have used it with a brush before, particularly on small bits like this, and it's been fine. What I will do after I've got as much done as I can with that brush is I'm going to lay some light tissue paper or something over and cover the area around here, and then I might give it a light mist with the airbrush just to give it that better finish that you get with the airbrush. Okay, all right, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll do this, and then we'll come back and have a look at it, and then we'll get back onto the build that we're up to, which is in step 90. So I'll be back shortly with this done, and we'll get on with things. Okay, now if you haven't already, please, as I always say, please subscribe, please comment, and hit the thumbs up, and everybody will be happy, particularly me. All right, guys, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're back, and it's painted. And I'll tell you what, even though this is airbrush, Outlaw Paints black primer for airbrush, it paints on quite well. And also the fact that I think because I clear coated the mast after I did the Japanese grey, it allowed this to go on like a wash. It just went on really smoothly, and I just put it on and let it, just washed it all down and put it everywhere, and it just went on really well. And it come up to a point where if you really look close, it looks weathered. So I'm really happy with it. That's come up really nice. Yeah, problem fixed. It's all done. So I'll put all this away, get the brushes cleaned up, and then we'll get on with the build. Okay, back shortly. So now we're moving on to step 90. And step 90 are the 15.5 centimeter gun turrets. Okay, so here's one part, ZG4, which is this. And then there's this piece here on the, if I can see that, D sprue. So we need to get those off, and that gets glued into there. Anyway, you can see it all, how it comes together in step 90 there. There's down towards the bottom there, there's a bit of photo etch. So I think, yeah, there's a bit of photo etch there. All right, I think they're called paravanes, those ones that get mounted in here. There's two that go down in there. Their number's 54 that we got to make up. So we'll go ahead and get these parts off and get them ready to put together. All right, be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So here's all the parts we need in step 90. Couple of little tricky things we got to do is they've got a couple of life buoys that go on either side. They'll obviously have to be painted up separately, because they'll have to be the red and white traditional color. And as for these paravanes here, we've got some photo etch, just one piece that goes across on each. They also will have to be painted up separately before I put them on, I think. I'm going to see if I can find some references to see if they are just grey like the rest of the ship. They most likely are, but if there is any bit of detail, like some white on there or something, I'll do that. Now these actual, when I said these are the 15.5 centimeter gun turrets, well, they sort of are, but these are the base of them. The guns will actually sit up on here, which we don't make yet. That's further on in the instructions. These are just the bases we have to make. Because just put step 91 up there, the next step, and you'll see there's quite a lot more to be placed onto these. And then in step 92 is actually putting them on board the deck of the ship. But yeah, there's quite a bit, as you can see. There's more photo etch, there's more railings, there's quite a few ladders, all the good stuff with the photo etch. 4 of these paravanes, 2 will go on inside here, and the other 2 go on top of here, it looks like, or maybe not. We'll see. I think, yeah, it looks like in 91 there, there's another piece we start working on. So there's actually 2 of these. Well, there is 2. There's one at the stern section of the superstructure and one at the front bow section. I don't know. I'm going to get in trouble for not having the right words. But there's 2 of these, all right? But we aren't building that second one yet. All right, so I'll get some of this together, and we'll see how it looks. And like I said, I'll research this and see if there's any other colors we needed to make them with a bit more detail. Okay, we're back shortly. Okay, so these are done. These are all glued on, so that's all ready to go. Just 2 of these need to sit on there. A little bit of photo etch is easy, just bend it over and not a problem at all. I use my MIG ammo photo etch glue to attach them, so that'll dry completely clear. They'll be fine. And they just simply go, and I've already test fitted them. Put one in there like that, and one in there like that. I'm just trying to set out my glasses, but there we go. There they are. And they're not any special color or any detail on there, so they'll just get sprayed black primer as usual over the top, and then we'll hit it with the grey. But these vents in here, you can see, obviously these vents are grills. I thought that it would have been good to have photo etch in there, but they don't. But anyway, those will get detailed in the way of putting in some soot and so forth. We'll probably use some panel line wash in there to darken those vents a little bit. Same with the ones on the side here, a lot of detail. So that's done. The other 2 go on the other piece we haven't built yet. So we can go over to step 91 now, where we've got lots more photo etch. I'll just put it up there in that corner. And yeah, so we've got ladders. I think there's some strange looking ladders there. What are those? So there's one there that actually stands up here. So that's interesting. We've got some that go on the sides of here. And I don't know if they're ladders or they don't look like ladders. They look like they might be some form of grill, some grill work of some sort. Interesting. Anyway, we'll get them off the photo etch and have a look. There's some railings to go in there as well. Okay, this should look really nice when it's done. Okay, back in a sec. Hello, welcome back. So I thought I'd just show you what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm going to get the photo etch out, but what I noticed is that I'll put the instructions up in the corner there. Photo etch part B12. It's a ladder. Here it is here on the photo etch. And they're saying it goes here. There's 4 location points where it goes, and it comes up quite high. It comes up like this. And that's one of the first things you need to put on, along with what the others turned out. They look like vents on the side of the turret base here. But this piece that's going to stick up here, and then after that we'll come along and we'll do the railings everywhere. I'm thinking that's going to get knocked. So I'm going to leave that till later. Also, I noticed, or I questioned, where does that ladder go? I mean, it just goes to nowhere. So I went to the anatomy of a ship and I looked it up, and I had a look in there, and it's not there. They don't show that ladder as existing. But what it does show is there's a platform around the back of the turret that we'll build and put on here, that I'm thinking that ladder must go up to that platform. Okay, even though there's no representation of it here in the book. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave that for a while, at least until we start on that turret at the top, and I can check to make sure that that is actually where it goes. So what I'll do is I'll go now and do the vents, which are, you can see them here. There's 1, 2, 3. This is on sprue B, so we've got we've got one, haven't we? One sprue of B. Yeah, there's 3 of them. So I'm just checking on B46, so there's another one elsewhere on here. They will actually go on the sides here. And something I also noticed too is that there's no actual location. It's one of those paravanes, they're not glued in yet. Get that one off too. There's no, I don't think there's really any location. It might be there. I think I can see a spot there where the larger one goes. We'll see. All right, so I'll get these off and we'll have a look at putting them on there. Be back in a sec. Okay, back again. Just thought I'd show you how I went about putting these on. So that sits in the center there. You just got to work out where the center is. Pop it on there. What I'm using is my MIG ammo glue. I'll just show it for anyone who doesn't remember. That's the Ultra glue from MIG. Okay, it's a photo etch clear drawing. So I've got some in here. Obviously you water it down, otherwise it comes out, it's quite thick, very, very thick. So it's watered down, probably the consistency of, I don't know, a bit more than milk that you would put through your airbrush. I've got my little Icky Sticky brushes here, which are these really handy micro brush applicators. Okay. So I've just used that to just put that on the plastic, and then I've come along with one of these pencils, which is for picking up little things, and placed it in there, and that one's on. The other one here, the bigger one, exactly the same thing. Just make sure you line it up at the top. There's a little gap at the bottom, and that's how it's supposed to be. And there are 2 very faint little lines on the plastic that you can line it up between that help you with exactly where that sits in. And again, this stuff, I put that on like 5 minutes ago, and it's drying, and that'll dry completely clear. Now these 2, which came off the C sprue, exactly the same things, go here on top, and there's a tiny little location mark on the top of this vent that you would have we put on earlier. And that's where we line that up and we pop that in there, which I'll just do right now so I can show you. Again, always test fit. And also I did sand off the nubs. There you go. So that's going to fit in there like that. All right. Okay, now always sand off the nubs so you get everything sitting and everything perfect. All right. And all I'm using is one of these ammo little sanding sticks, just, you know, lightly where you've detached it from the sprue, and it's fine. So we know where that's going now. We take a little bit of our glue, our applicator here, and just simply run it like that. That's all you need, you know, that's it. Put this on there like that. That's it. I'm not going to touch anything else. I will just yeah, let's make sure it's sitting against there. that's fine. I'll just give that a couple of seconds and I'll do the other side, just so I don't accidentally bump it off. In fact, I won't, because I don't have to hold anywhere near it, so that's okay. And again, almost did what I said you shouldn't do. There we go, test fit. Perfect. Okay. And again, just run the line a bit up there. That's all you need. And my hands are shaking. Guess I've had too much coffee this morning. There we go. Straight. There we did. There it is. There it is. Done. All right. So that's the 3 on there. 4 actually. Front. That's it. So now like I said, I'm not putting that ladder that sticks up there on yet. We'll leave that. We'll move over now to where the railings go. So we've got railings that go across here and across the top of both of these. All right, so let me grab those off the sprue and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, back, and all the parts are on, except for that ladder I was telling you about. I've left that on the sprue. I'll just mark that to come back to later. But as you can see, paravanes are down in there. There's the ladder on the side going up. And there's also a location point for that. And all our railings all around, quite simple to bend. Originally I touched these with CA glue to attach them, but because the tiny little attachment points are so small, it came off so easily, so I took them back off and I touched them with my MIG Ammo photo etch glue, and that's much better. They're staying put and they're not going to come off. I can touch that. All right, so yeah, that piece is looking good. So we'll put that one aside and we'll move down to that other big piece we've got to go get, which I thought I had that somewhere. Maybe not. We'll go check the sprues and put some vents on. So yeah, I'll do that. Be back shortly. Okay, so there's our parts we needed. This one here. These are vent covers. 2 on the front, 2 on the rear. If that's the front rear, could be wrong, but that's where they go. And we've got the paravanes, which will sit on the top here. And then we go back to, like in the last piece, putting on some photo etch railings, as you can see in the instructions there, and some more of those straight pieces that go down on here and here. So I'll attach all these now, and we'll come back when I'm up to the photo etch stage. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, we're back again. I've got the 2 vents that go on either side off. They're ready to go on. Now this here is one of the railings. These are really flimsy, okay? One advantage of having the plastic and keeping the plastic on these is when you're taking off something like this, and definitely make sure you've got a fresh blade, because you really only want to just touch it to detach it from the sprue, because they bend and they'll snap very easily. Once you've gone along and taken them off, then using the plastic on the back to turn it over and peel it off, and it'll drop onto wherever your working area is, and that's the best way to get off. If you try to come in with the pair of tweezers and lift it off the plastic where it's sticking to the plastic, you're going to bend that. All right, so best to just peel the plastic back and let it detach that way. All right, don't try and lift it off the plastic, or you're going to bend it. Now, even though you can straighten it, this is so thin that you're only going to get about 3 chances to straighten it before it snaps. And that's when we come to the placing of it, which fortunately there's location points along here. So we're going to go 4 posts across, 1 up, and then 1 up at a little bit of a different angle. So First part's going to be straight, then we're going to a right angle up one, and then a slightly, maybe it's 45-degree across to the next location point. Now you really only want to try to bend these once and do it the first time and get it right. So what I'm going to do is I'll bend it, no problem. I'm sure I can just get it like this, and I will probably bend the first one while it's on the tile here. I'll use this and a razor blade just to get underneath and flip it up very, very carefully to get that first angle. All right, and I would glue it that way, like that. All right, then once the glue's set, which I'll be using the MIG ammo glue again, I'll leave it. Then I will bend that final post across to its location point and glue it in. Okay, that's probably the best, because if I try and bend this at an angle and then try and bend this one might go out of sync, out of alignment. It's just that thin. All these railings are on top. All right, so after the glue's set, I'll bend that last one to its point. All right, the same on the other side, although it's a different numbered piece. They're all on the B sprue. Okay, and then after those two, as you can see on the instructions, there's two more at the back, also needing, I think it's just one bend. Have a look. 1, 2. See, it also needs to be bent in two spots to line up here, 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 and here around the back of the paravane, which does just fit in there. Okay. In fact, make sure you place these paravanes before you do the railings, because this part here is very close. The railing will actually go over the top of this edge here. Okay, so just so you know. All right, and then there'll be one on the back, and that'll be it. Yes, that piece will be done. All right, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and bend all these, get them all on, we'll have a look, and I'll let you know how it went and if there were any problems. Okay, be back in a sec. Okay, so there they are, done. I might mention the detail just in the plastic alone is incredible. I'll put a couple of photos up there. You can see, look at the rivet work on those metal plates, and even the stairs, even the handrails going up look pretty good. So it looks just fantastic. I mean, really, really happy with the way that looks. Anyway, these are done now. Railings are on. It's looking good. All we've got to do now is go to the next step, which is 92. I'll put that up in the corner, and it's just a matter of putting them on the ship. Now, these we can put them on the ship without needing to put the rest of the main island on, but of course we've got to paint them first, so there'd be no point putting them on like that. So let's paint them. Why not? Our Outlaw Paints black primer, and I'll give them a spray. I'll bring them out and show you what they look like in the black primer, and it's a really nice day-to-day, won't take long to dry, and then we'll be able to put the Imperial Japanese grey straight over the top within about 20 minutes, I'd say. All right, yeah, let's do that. Now, what I might do first is just test fit them on the deck and make sure that'll be they're going on there where they're supposed to be okay. And other than that, I'll get them painted up and we'll come back and have a look at them. Back shortly. Okay, there they are, done in the black primer, Outlaw Paints. Beautiful as usual. I wasn't too worried about on the top there because that's going to be under the turret, so no worries about that. Looking really nice. I've also test fitted these on the deck. I'll put a couple of photos up that I took, and they fit perfectly, no problem at all. And obviously that black primer is going to make the shadows look really nice after I put the grey on. Okay, so that's just been put on. I'll give that 20 minutes, or I'll go have some lunch or something and come back and throw some grey on there, and we'll have a look at it completed on and see how it looks. Of course, I'll have to remember to do my clear coat on there as well before we, before and if we put it on the deck just yet. I'm not sure. I might hold off, put it aside, because we've got to work on the turrets for the top of these. And I'm just, I've also got to remember that I've still got to put that ladder on there. I just remembered that too. So there's that extra ladder that we've left off. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. Otherwise, the instructions over the page, it's still building more guns before we work on these turrets. So yeah, I might jump ahead and have a quick look and see if I can get some more detail about that ladder and where it's supposed to go to. All right, so all good. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I've come back and had a look at those ladders and realised that I'm going to put them on. Main reason because they do have 4 location points on here for them to go and line up with, which means that wherever they lead up to, it's got to be, you know, fairly accurate, that it's, you know, going to the right location. So I'll take the chance and I'll put these on. So I've already painted them. What I'll do now is I'll just take these off, bend them to shape, put them on there, and then hit them with a bit of black, and it'll be right to go. Okay, so these are the parts in step 91, right at the top there. They're the B12, the photo etch piece there. All right, and there is only one, fairly sure. Yeah, there's only one to make, and that will go on to here, just right in the center between the paragames. All right, I shall return and get that done. One other thing I thought I'd do while we're in the painting mode. Remember the little life buoys that need to go on? Yeah, well, I'm going to paint them in the white and then put the red on there as well, and that'll be done. So that'll be simple. Then I'll go paint the ladder on this, which is almost glued in place. Glue's almost dry. Give that a quick squirt of some black, and wait a little bit longer, and we'll be able to hit them with the grey. All right, once again, be back shortly. Okay, so while I'm waiting for those parts to dry, I thought I'd just move on as we do. So skipping step 92, which was placing those bits we're waiting to dry on the deck. Surprise, surprise, I go to step 93, and I've got to make more guns. So there's 6 very small machine guns. They're 13.2mm machine guns. They're here on the Q sprue. There's 2 on each, there and there. They're tiny, as expected. So even though there's one piece of plastic, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of photo etch to go on there. Fun. All right, got to do them. So make a start. Okay, so I'll get these off, and then photo etch is all on the G sprue, looks like. And it looks like we've got to put the seat, or not the seat, not sure. There looks like what looks like the aiming eyepiece that they look through. And we'll have a look at the detail anyway. We're going to have to need the macro lens on this thing, that's for sure. All right, I'll get these off the sprue and we'll get some photo etch. Okay, back shortly. Okay, so there's our 6 guns, 1 down here. There's the photo etch required for all 6. So we've got the base, we've got the viewfinder that you look through, and another little handle piece. Going by the instructions, it's very difficult on these small pieces to figure out, like for instance, where this little bit, these little pieces go. That's why it's good to have the anatomy of a ship with the Yamato. I'll throw a picture up there in the corner. You can see much clearly exactly what these are supposed to look like, and much easier to work out where these bits go exactly. Other than that, I'll bring up a couple of close-up pictures of these that you can see, and even the detail in the plastic on the gun itself is really quite nice. It's come up really well, and of course the photo etch just adds that extra bit. The platforms look really good, don't they? Sorry about that. It was a phone call from some scammer trying to, scam me out of my phone bill. All right, where was I? Yeah, so the photo, check out that, and the detail on the platform that they sit on is a real nice touch too. So they'll look really good when they're on the deck. Anyway, time to put them together. So I'll put them together. If there's any problems, I'll stop and show you. Otherwise, hopefully when you come back, you'll see them all put together. Then you'll know they went together fine. All right, I shall be back shortly, I hope. Very shortly. Hey, they're back again. Just working through these machine guns here. They're going together really nicely. But I've painted up and they're dried, those turret mounts. So there you can have a look at one there. Look at that. It's come up really nice. So look at that beautiful paint on that. Really nice. And the other one is there. And there they are. Also looking good. So I'm not going to put these on the ship as it says to do in the next step. I'm going to put them aside and we'll put them on later because we do need to bring the ship down onto the bench after these guns are done, because a lot of them are going to get placed on the deck. So we'll probably do that then as we continue on through. But yeah, they come up nice, eh? All right, so yeah, I'll finish these off. It won't take me long, 4 to go. And I guess, yeah, the next shot you'll see will be with the ship down here. I'll have to make a lot of room for it. All right, I'll be back again shortly. Okay, back again. I know I said I was going to have the ship down on here, but I just realized I've got to paint these. So the 6 13.2mm machine guns are all put together. Photo etch on there looking good. So I'm going to go quickly put some black primer on there, and then that won't take long, and then a quick wipe of the Outlaw Paints IGN grey. And also might mention that I have clear coated those other turret mounts that we did a moment ago, so they're drying as we speak. All right, I shall return once again shortly. Okay, welcome back. So it's been a while since I've had the ship down on the bench here, but it's looking really good. Some of the deck was coming up again, unfortunately, so I've just got a bit of weight on there. I've just glued it down on the edge. Everywhere else looks fine, although now I'm looking, I see a bit more lifting there. Just spots I hadn't previously touched up, so I'll fix that. Now on these parts here that we've got, all the clear coat's dry on that now. There's a little location point here for the life buoys to go on. Pretty sure that's what goes there. I'll double check. It might go on this one. Yeah, no, it is definitely on that one. So I painted them up. I don't know how well you'll be able to see because they're so tiny, but they are there. Yeah. I'm just letting them dry for a bit more, and then I'll attach them before I put these on the deck. This one, as I said, I did test fit these earlier, and as you can see, here's one of my tricks where I use the sprue, I glue it into the bottom there, and then I can just take it off and work as a handle while I was spraying. So that is going to go there. Let me just make some room here, just check. Yeah, that'll be fine. Now that's going to sit in there, which just drops in there perfectly. The other one will go up on this end. But I'll just put those life buoys on there. I'll just give it 10 minutes and we'll come back and do that. And then we've also got to put some guns on. So the ones that we just made, a few of those go on the deck here in step 93. But then it's also referring back to the guns we made previously. And we've got about, looks like 6 of those go on the decks. I think they go in here. But we'll check up on that, so I'll get them ready to go on too. All right, so yeah, I'll just finish the life buoys on here. This will be dry. I can take that off, and another bit over there is lifting now as well. I'll have to touch that up with a bit of glue under there. Okay, be back again in a second. Okay, welcome back. So got our little machine guns here. They are there. And I almost forgot to clear coat them, so I've done that and let them dry for a sec. Here's this piece here. It's got our life buoy on there. I'll put a couple of pictures up so you can see them a little bit clearer, close. And of course this part here, which we're about to glue in, because we need to glue these on the deck. So let's do that. Get a bit of a here. Some of this around the edge. This. Should be fine. Lock that into place. There it is. Perfect. Now we'll put this one on the other end. That. Test fit. Perfect. So we'll just again some glue on there. It's pretty good to see some stuff going down on the deck. All right. Drop that in place. That's it. Done. All right. Now, let me just have a look at the instructions here. That was, well, basically that now crosses off step 92, placing those on. Then going over to step 93 now, and we need to put these on, but I'll hold off on that for a sec because I want to grab the other guns that have got to go on. Let me just get back in a sec. Okay, so these are the ones we need. We need 6 of these ones. Very careful with these. They go pretty much like that. You know, I myself enough room to work around. There, like that. There's one. And so there's 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 on the other side there. That's where we want them to go. Just pop another one in place. Let's grab this one here. Yeah, that's going to be fine. All right, so I'll continue on, and I'll be gluing these pieces down, and then by then we'll be able to come back and put on these smaller guns, machine guns that we've just made up. and they will actually go in position a little bit out of sight. I'll have to move the ship up. They go around behind the sandbags, actually. If I slide this up a little bit. Carefully. There's our sandbags. So these will go here on the deck. 2 on each. 1, 2, and 1, 2. All right, but we'll come back before we put them down. Okay, we're back in a second. I'll put the rest of these on both sides. Okay, so I've got those 6 on, and I'm going to continue on with these ones because we need to put some more towards the stern. So what we'll do is we'll just slide this up if we can. Probably do this off camera and reposition so we can see where these other guns will go. We'll be back in a second. Okay, that's a bit better. So moving on to step 94, where these ones, which are all part numbers 52 from step 86. Now we're going to put 1, 2 there, 3, 4 in here, and then just checking on the instruction down here. Oh yes, we've got 1, 2, and 3, 4 down here. Okay, so I will continue on and place those on. So that'll be another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Good. All right. Back shortly with them done. Okay, so they're on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looking nice. Now we'll go back because there's 6 more of these which must go on somewhere else later. So we'll just put them aside for now, and we'll come back. We'll go back. Now we'll grab our machine guns that we've pre-coded and ready to go. So while we're down here at the stern, there'll be one going here and one going here right on the back. And that's still on step 94. That finishes step 94. We'll go back to 93 and we'll place 4 more back where those in those areas where the sandbags are that I mentioned earlier. And then that will leave, well, that will be all of them actually. So that will be all those in place. Okay, so I'll add these on and come back, and then I'll take a few photos so we can see a bit better. Put them up. Be back in a sec. Okay, so we've got 2 of them on, which you can see there. Again, I'll put a picture up in the corner, and they've gone down really well. If you're doing this and you're using a wooden deck, you'll be glad that you did check the holes beforehand and made sure they were all going through. But always test fit these pieces in first, put them in, make sure they're the little nubs underneath fit okay and they sit down flush, which they do, so that was all good. And then I'm just gluing down with some Revell contactor as I place them in position. I'm just going to do the other side now, and that will be the end of these guns. But as you can see in the photo, they look quite good, don't they? Okay, I will continue and be back again in a sec. Okay, back again. So, done. All the guns are on there, machine guns are there, anti-aircraft guns are on, at least up until the end of step 94. So what I was thinking of doing is, while I've got the ship down here on the bench, we might as well get to work on the anchor chain up the front there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it all around so it's easy to work on, get the anchor chains out and see how we can go about fitting them. And yeah, then we can put this away and continue on step 95, which is we're back to making it looks like more rangefinders possibly, or more guns. We shall see. All right, so yeah, let's get this anchor chain up on that forecastle there. Okay, back shortly. Okay, we're back and we're at the anchor area here. So, well, the anchor chain. So what I've done is in here, you can put it through the hole in here and it'll go straight down into the hole. So I've got tons of chain, all right? Basically, there's way heaps. And there's 2 of these, so yeah, there's a lot. So I can just keep threading that through and just let it all hang down in there, so I won't have to cut it. And I'll run it up and through into here. But the problem I have is the actual anchors. So I'm a little bit confused of how I'm going to attach the anchors. Now, I could run the chain down through there and have it come out and have it and connect it onto the anchor, and then and have it hanging, but I don't know if that would be accurate, because most of the pictures I see of the anchor are up here in its raised position, completely up at the top. But then if I did that, this I guess you'd call it like a shank. It seems too long, because it won't go through the hole, at least not to be able to position it in its correct position. It's way long, hey? Don't know how that is for scale, but it doesn't seem right. So I'm going to go through and look at some references and check that out. Yeah, the other option would be I could take that out completely and just glue the anchor up over the hole like that would normally be. Not sure. Or may even have it hanging on each side. We'll have a look. We'll try check this out. Okay, I'll think about this and we'll come back and decide what to do. Be back in a sec. Oh, and by the way, I was going through the pages of the anatomy of a ship, and in between the pages was this. And that, which I nearly lost again, was one of those parts that you remember I lost on the rangefinder. Yeah, it somehow ended up over between some of the pages of the book. So anyway, I did scratch build a piece instead, and it looks okay. So I'm not going to go to the trouble of trying to putting that back on there, painting it up. So, but yeah, I found it. Too late, but I found it. All right, I'm still researching what to do about this chain, this anchor, and getting some advice, and we'll see. It's just that this shank does not fit in the hole. It's too long to be able to mount raised position. The only position I can do it with is hanging, and I don't know how good or how accurate that's going to be. The other option is to just cut this shank short so that it will fit in there and let me attach it, because the photos in the anatomy of a ship, that is the 3D representations of it, show it fitting in a way that is just not possible. But then again, the anchor chain in the anatomy of a ship images are completely different. I mean, there's all the extra attachment points on the main chain that are in here as well. I'll put a picture up so you can have a look and see what I mean. And all those little extra bits don't come with the kit. You just have that single length of chain. So yeah, and also you can see in that other photo there that the way that's sitting on the ship, it looks fine on there, but you just can't do that with these anchors. It won't go in there that properly, and you can't get it in to sit that way. Anyway, I'll work it out. We'll get back to it shortly. Okay, welcome back. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to have the chain like it is. So I've just positioned it. I've got the whole ship tilted up at the moment because I need to get access to underneath here. But that's how I'm going to have the chain, pretty much running straight through like that. But what I've decided to do with the anchor is mount it like I have on every other Japanese or other ship, is pretty much on the side like that, facing back. and having this shank here going up into the hole there, but the problem is it's too long. Okay, so I've marked it, and quite a bit, it almost half the length of it has to be cut off, just so that I can glue it and then it'll look like the shank's going back inside. Okay, otherwise there's no way you can connect that onto the ship. This does not bend back far enough, and the hole is at the wrong angle. You could, if you wanted to, hang the chain through there and hang it down, but I don't want to do that because that's really not how it looked. You either had the anchor up or anchor down, didn't you? Didn't really have it halfway. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this off and glue it on there, and it'll look perfectly good. But yeah, just if you happen to be building this, yeah, you have to make that decision. Yeah, unless of course earlier on in the build, before you put this deck down, you got in there and opened up that hole further, then you could possibly get that whole shank in there, but there's no point. You may as well cut it off so it's going to fit. And that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'll come back when it's done, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, I'm back again. Glued it on, just pretty much just got some medium CA glue, dropped it in here as well, and I'm going to happy leaving it like that. I've got one anchor on this side. I've just got to get to the other side, which means turning this whole thing around and working down the dark end of my bench, so it's no good me videoing it. But I'll get that other anchor on. This is how much of the shanks I had to cut off to make them fit. So yeah, anyway, it's all good now. All right, I will do that, and yeah, pretty much put all this back up on the shelf, and we'll move on to, where are we? Step 95. All right, where we're building more guns, which will be the ones that go on the cantilever mounts on the side of the ship there.
Okay, so it was just at this point I realised that I hadn't painted the mast.
All right,
someone in my comments reminded me a couple episodes back.
Okay, here we go.
That
we're starting on step 95 now, which I'll put
it's only grey
corner there. You can have a look. So we're doing the first 8
separate into
of these guns, anti-aircraft guns that are going to sit
stripes on there
along the deck and the outside. They don't all go along there.
So,
there's a mixture of 3 different
I'm still going to be able to
and the 2 that we're making in this step are very, very similar.
I'll just protect
to the point where I've looked at them on the sprue here. I can't really tell the difference unless there's a slight size difference. They look exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'll be marking underneath what they are, just so they don't get mixed up. But first we're going to do the top ones, which are all the ZQ2 ones. So that means we need ZQ2 is this one. So we need to take those ones off. Just do that. We need 8 of these. Again, these are really nicely detailed. I mean, gosh, the rivets on here is amazing. Like the plate middle rivet work, and the door. Even the door, I can see 3 latches and hinges on that door on that. I mean, who needs photo etch when you've got that sort of detail? Looks really good. Now this also, excuse me, also has photo etch strips that go in there. And those are on the G sprue here. That's probably all of them in there. Yeah, most of those. They're all number 28s actually. So 28s are, yeah, that whole top row. So we'll take all of those off, trim them. Pretty much what we did on the superstructure, very similar guns. And then there's Q7, which are the guns themselves. Will be interesting to see if they fit, because if you remember the last time, we had a bit of an issue where they wouldn't fit in here. They're quite tight, and we had to sand each side a little bit to let them slip in. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'll take it. Well, we'll wait. We'll have a look when they're done. I'll get some nice photos, but definitely very nice detail on the plastic. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go take all these off. I'll get them all set up on here. And I'll probably get all the photo etch off as well and get that all trimmed up, tidied up. And we'll start putting them together. There's also, again, photo etch railing, which will go around the top like we've done before, and a couple of pieces again on the front there. All right. Okay, I'll get all the bits and pieces ready. I'll be back soon. Okay, so there's all our parts, except for the railings, which I'll do that towards the end. But I won't show putting these together because these are exactly the same as the ones that I put on the superstructure. Which also explains why I came across the part numbers ZK2 for these. I was missing 3 of them. Apparently I'd used them instead of ZK1s to build the other ones on the superstructure. But they're exactly the same, so I replaced them with the ZK1s and we should be fine. Test fitted, I put the gun in there, it fits. These actually fit in quite well. Well, that one did anyway, there was no need to trim it up. Photo etch going in on both sides has to be bent. You know how it is. This is how I did this all before. So when I come back, we'll have all these made up and pretty much ready to paint. But there's also very similar ones down in further down in step 95, which are also made up pretty much identically. So I'll be making those as well. Just make sure I don't get them mixed up. Yeah. All right, so next time we come back, these will be done and ready to paint along with the other extra 8 we've also got to do. All right, I'll be back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So there they are, the first 8 of step 95 all done. Put a picture up there so you can see a bit clearer. No problems at all. Just just built them up like the last lot. So they're all good. I'll set those aside to get undercoated with the Outlaw Paints black primer. But before I do that, I'll do the next 8, which will be pretty much exact copy of these ones. So not much difference at all, as you can see in the instructions there. So that won't take much. But anyway, video's getting a bit long, so we're gonna end it here. I'll do the other 8. We'll have a look at that, which will be in part 20. So I just want to thank everybody and all my subscribers. We just, between this video and the last video, we just passed 4,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. And once again, I'll remind anybody that you're all welcome to join me on the live stream on Fridays at 6 a.m. Australia time to work out whatever that is wherever you are. But we had daylight savings end here and the clocks have gone back an hour, so that time may change. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we celebrated, had put out a big thank you to all the subscribers for helping me get to 4,000. It's fantastic. I'm really just shocked that it got there so quick. So fantastic. Please, as usual, always your comments are welcome below. Tips, suggestions, thoughts, whatever, put them down in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video, and share it. You're welcome to share this on any social media sites or anywhere you want that you might some people might find it of interest. And we did get quite a bit done. We got all the guns on the deck. We got the anchor chains and the anchors done. We got those 2 other bases for the turrets, which I think may be the first lot of turrets we build up. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. These instructions are a little bit all over the place. But when we come back in video in part 20, I should say, we'll get these painted up in that video. We'll get the others built up. We'll put these on the ship. That should be the last of all the anti-aircraft guns to go on board. And we'll definitely be working over to the next step, which does look like the beginning of the turrets, which I'm really looking forward to. Okay, so thank you all for joining, and thanks again for all the tips and suggestions. Hopefully you'll find a bit of an improvement in the video quality. I've managed to fix color saturation so we don't have color shifts happening every time I bring objects and stuff into view. It should lock, and saturation is what it is. It should stay the same. Same with the contrast and brightness, bit of improvement there. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. So if you think it's looking a bit better, then let me know in the comments. All right, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you all in part 20. Bye for now.
Just you.